Good morning and welcome to another episode of Your Bucket List Accelerator. We are so happy to have you back here. And we are on episode number 5, where we're going to get ready together in the morning. We're going to talk about some makeup. We're going to talk about some financial things. We're going to filter out some of that noise so you can get to financial freedom. Sound good? So we've got some really fun products to talk about today. I don't think there's really anything too new that I'm doing, maybe the Mac, but some new stuff, but mainly some goodies that we're going to look at and see if I want to keep. I'll tell you what I do at the end of the video if I decide I'm going to keep it or not. And today on the docket for subjects we're going to talk about, so in terms of the finance stuff, we're going to talk about the great value rotation that is happening in the investment markets. Don't know what that means. You will once we're done with talking about it. We're going to talk about digital minimalism. So apparently, that old Japanese way of holding something in your hand, and if it brings you joy, you keep it. If it doesn't, you toss it away. Well, people are doing that digitally too, and we're going to discuss that. And we're going to talk about the $1,000 stress gap. How's that sound? That sound good? It sounds like a good one to me. So let me set my timer really quick because I really do try to keep this to 30 minutes. Maybe under. I kind of went back and scaled back products. Sorry if that's really loud. I apologize. But I want to be on track. Okay. So I got my little timer going, and I already prepped my face with, I used the Dalba Dual Serum All-in-One Multi-Balm. I realized I need to show things a little closer to the screen so you can see it. I did that under my eyes. It was funny. I will give a warning a bit. I like this product now, but when I was having some irritation under my eyes around the holidays last year, this did not help it. So if you have any kind of irritation or dryness around your eyes, because I think it's probably because of the fragrance, which smells really good, but I would maybe avoid that. Then, before that though, I used Supergoop Mineral Glow Screen. Soft Radiance Drops, 40 SPF. I got a little sample, so I decided to use it. I've never used a Supergoop product. I know they've been super popular, but I enjoyed it. It looks nice, I feel like. I look glowy. Then I primed the base with Isle of Paradise Bronzer, Golden Hour Sunny Serum. Again, it's a little sample here. Nice little radiance and some darkness in my face just to kind of balance stuff out. On the primer side, I used the Secure the Blur One Size Makeup Magnet Primer Base Aimant. I don't think that's a word. Okay, that's French, that's why. Okay, I'm not gonna read French, but that is what we're using today, just in the T-zone, because I do get a little sweaty there. And I went in with my Gerard Cosmetics eye primer in medium that I usually do. So I think we're all good. Oh, before we want to get started, I do want to give a little shout out to another influencer. I'm going to grab something, so it might take me off screen for a second. So I watch YouTube all the time, watch a lot of beauty videos, but I also watch some dermatologists. I watch Dr. Sam Ellison and Dr. Dre are the two women that I watch the most. There are two other dermatologists. I think one of them started Remedy. I watch them as well. They're very good too. But Dr. Dre, I've been having some issue with some eczema on my neck, and I had some over here earlier. I've had some down here. I've had some right here in my ear, and I've used different things, and it's gotten rid of it over here, but over here it was just having a horrible time. And I bought this Aveeno Baby Eczema Therapy night balm, and I put it on once, and it kind of irritated it. So I was like, I'm just not going to put it on again. And it probably was other products I was using, or I don't know what it was. But I heard Dr. Dre talk about this. Now, this is the baby one. I've got the non-baby one coming. I got the baby one mainly because I was worried about sensitivity issues, which I still am. But there's a adult one that has an anti-itch component, which I guess that makes sense because babies, I think babies itch. I don't have kids, so I don't know, but I'm kind of surprised they don't have the anti-itch in there, but maybe there's something they're not supposed to have. That has done miracles. In 5 days, and she recommended it, was talking all about the product. So thank you, Dr. Dre, if you're out there listening, because my gosh, that was good. Okay, so we're going to get started with base, and I'll tell you what I'm doing first, and then we're going to get started on topic number 1, which is the great rotation into value stocks. And yes, I will explain to you what value stocks are. So we're going to go in with Versed Multi-Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. I guess I'm in an SPF 40 day because that was what the goop was too. This is what it looks like. And then I'm in 5N. If you were my similar shade match, which it's funny, a lot of people seem to be that I see out there. I always thought I was kind of unique because I am half Japanese and half Caucasian. So I've learned my lesson. Don't shake it too much, because last week I shook it, the foundation too much and it went all over the place and I had to clean it up later. Okay, so what am I going to use today in terms of foundation? I think, oops, sorry, that was loud. I'm going to use the BK Beauty 106 foundation brush with this. So, all right, so let's get on with topic number 1 for the financial talk. The great rotation into value stocks. Now, after many years of tech heaviness, I'm looking at notes if you're wondering what I'm looking at. I'll tell you a funny story. I'll get to this in a second. So I use obviously a video editor program, and it was telling me that I could do eye contact. I thought, oh, great. And I do that for my other videos, so that makes sense to do that here. Well, what it would do is when I was doing my eye makeup and looking this way, it was making my eye kind of jut out and look directly. It was the weirdest thing ever. It made me look like an alien. So I'm doing this and my eyes closed, but my eyes open because it's generating the eye to look at. It was very odd. So I'm not doing the eye contact feature anymore. So you're going to see me look down at my notes so I don't get off track. Okay, so after many years of being in very tech-heavy stocks, which makes sense, you know, we've had the AI boom, Magnificent Seven, which is a lot of AI stocks, investors are starting to move capital from tech into value. Now, value are companies that appear to be underpriced, you know, compared to their actual assets and earnings. And value investing is not new. Actually, that's what Warren Buffett really, you know, put into play for himself. And so, okay, getting on my brush. So that's what he did a lot, was value investing at the beginning of everything. So I have always bought some value stocks for many clients out there, because I think it's a good part of a diversified portfolio. But many people have been chasing those tech stocks very heavily the last couple of years. And so what's happening is that they're moving into these value stocks and really implementing, that's the word I want to use, that buy low strategy, because value stocks have been overlooked quite a bit. And by doing that, it is really making value stocks take off. So there has been some concern lately for tech stocks and what's going on with tech stocks and that kind of thing. And so value stocks makes complete sense. These are still companies that are doing very well, actually old school companies, but people are kind of rediscovering them. And so there's been articles out, like there was a Morningstar article that came out called the U.S. Stock Market Outlook that talked about this. There's just been a lot of buzz about this. And people are definitely not moving out of tech completely, but it has kind of gotten into the news lately. So what's the shiny object? Well, now people are having FOMO, right? Because they might not have realized that this transition was happening. And now I bet you some of you that are listening to this are saying, I should get into value stocks. And I would not say that that's a bad thing to think, but to just get into value stocks because that's the new it thing is always dangerous to do. And you're going to hear me talk about this a lot on my channel. of this chasing what's in the headlines aspect that goes on. So I think that looks very nice. And it's not as chunky. I was wearing another sunscreen kind of serum this week, and I was not as happy with it. So it looks nice, I think. All right. So that's that. Apparently they have some really nice the company has some really nice lip blur pens out there too. But as I told you last week, I like my hard candy ones. I think those are very good. So I don't think you need to run out and get the Versed ones, which I'm sure are more expensive because hard candy is not very expensive at all in terms of their products. Okay. They also, by the way, have a new powder out that has those different colors in the same mix, and you can mix them together. That's a very nice one. I tried it on Friday. It was very nice. So I was at Walmart. Why not pick up more makeup that I don't need, right? So when we're really looking at this value move to the value sector, you want to make sure that you are buying into value for diversification. You're not buying into value to chase something. Focus on fundamentals rather than frenzy. Value stocks provide dividends most of the time. Those dividend players, are out there, and that's kind of why I usually will put it in a more diversified portfolio because of that. And some more stability sometimes during market corrections. I say sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they can be a little bit more stable than the more trending things. And it just helps you preserve your investment philosophy. I think that is something that people don't think about is what is your investment philosophy, and stick with it, And maybe you don't know. Maybe that's why you need to work with a financial professional, investment manager, or a financial advisor that does investments to help you figure that out. Because maybe I do have some clients that don't want to be as diversified. They want to be in one sector or another. They want to take more risk than other people do. And that's okay as long as we talk through all of that and come to the right conclusion for them. So you should figure out what your investment philosophy is. And do I think value stocks can be a good addition? It can be, cannot be. Depends on your philosophy, where you are, and all that stuff. That's very irritating. Everybody says that's what every financial advisor says. Drives me crazy, but it's the truth. We can lie to you, make up something, but this is really the truth. Is it really depends on your situation. So I'm going to go in with the Versed Serum Concealer. I'm not the tinted moisturizer, tinted serum. Skin tint is not on the docket to get taken off. This one might be this serum concealer. It's their Versed Serum Concealer. That's probably backwards, I'm guessing, in the camera, but that's okay. And this is in 2N. I might have gotten too light of a shade when I did this, but I wanted to try this. I hadn't really enjoyed this too much. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy this very much, but since I'm doing my system of putting the concealer on my hand first and then on the brush and then loading the brush up and then putting it on my eyes, I figured why not try that with this one first before I completely discard it. What am I going to do? I'm going to use my Lamora Precision Angled Contour 114 brush. This is what it looks like. It's like I told you last week, Lamora makes some really nice brushes. So they might make blushes too, but I don't know those. So I'm going to get that on the eyes. I might need more concealer because this is pretty light. But anyhow, so you've probably heard about value investing because, like I said, it got popular with Warren Buffett doing it. But overall, I think it's funny that saying of what's old is new again definitely rings true when it comes to investing in the markets. And this is definitely true. So I'm going to let this sit here for a second while I blend it out. and we go on to our next topic. I'll look kind of strange for a second, but I'll blend it out in a moment. I just wanted to kind of sit down since it is a serum concealer. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic. Next topic is digital minimalism. So, and it's financially focused. Now, this is probably happening also, I would imagine, in other apps, but of course I'm focused on the financial stuff. So in 2026, digital minimalism is a response to the overwhelming amount of financial apps, crypto trackers, 24/7 news cycles, all that stuff. And it's basically people are just getting aggressive on saying, I don't want this anymore, and reducing the noise, which obviously I like, and taking these apps and these systems off their phones, out of their subscriptions, all that stuff. And Forbes actually had an article on this in March of 2026 saying that doesn't have anything to do with it. Thanks a lot. Okay. I misread the title, and that's not the same thing. But, essentially there's a lot of fake platforms out there too. That's what the article's talking about, is fake platforms, and the IRS talking about fake AI platforms that people are getting sucked into, and how not to get sucked into that. And I would say that taking these apps off of your phone will help a bunch, especially during things like we're still in the Iran conflict, war, whatever you want to call it. And it sometimes is better just to not pay attention to what's going on. So, well, maybe that isn't too light of a color. I don't know. I don't know if I'm keeping that or not. We'll see. But right now it looks okay. I'm going to take a little powder puff and just dab off any kind of excess, because everybody talks about creasing down here, which I do have some, but really I get some, like I have little fine lines here that crease, and right here, and it drives me crazy. I don't know if anybody else does, but every other person I hear talk about that always talks about the creasing right there. And it happens to me, but it's not as prominent as other ones. So I always need to take off the excess, which is good. Okay, so digital minimalism. It's this all-in-one AI financial bots, hyper optimization apps that promise to manage every single penny, help you with your budget, help you with your investing, help you with analysis, data sharing, all that stuff, data sharing risks, I should say, and all that stuff. But the problem that's happening with many people is that, am I done with everything? I'm going to do browse. Yeah, I'll do browse. This is the Bobbi Brown Cool Dark Brown Precise Brow Pencil. And I'll just run this through pretty quickly. And this has been a trend for a while. Actually, it's been talked about a lot in the financial industry of whether or not these apps and these programs are going to take over our jobs, which I think, is a good conversation to have. You want to make sure you're bringing as much value to clients as possible. So I'm going to change the mirror so I have a better angle. And you want to always bring as much value. And so these, a lot of us in the industry have been watching these financial apps for a while and wondering what kind of impact they are having. And this is not surprising to me. I have heard many people tell me that they are fatigued from all of the apps, the information, the stuff binging on your phone about everything going wrong in the world, all of that stuff. And so the fact that people are taking this stuff off your phone and wanting a regular phone call and wanting to just have conversations that way, that does not surprise me at all. So, and then I'm going to go in with the Morphe Brow Tease in Java. So that's what it looks like. This is the wand, which is a really strange shape. I'm not sure if I like the shape or not. I tend to just use the tip of it, as dirty as that sounds, what I just said. I have a little boy humor, so That kind of stuff always makes me laugh. So I apologize if that's not funny to you, but I have, like I said, 12-year-old boy humor a lot of times. Okay, that might have been a little too much. Let me get the spoolie. The problem that I have with these tinted brow gels and pencil combinations is that they sometimes can just look like my brows are fake almost. They're too dark, they're almost too perfect. And I'm just not one of these people that maybe my eyebrows are just not that untamed, so I don't understand the struggle, but I don't understand why we have to have brow wax that just holds it like that. I just don't, like I said, it might just be because I don't have that issue, but I don't understand it. So what do you think about streamlining your accounts, streamlining your apps, that you don't need 10 different apps talking to you about finance? Maybe you just need me in your life to talk about finance, and maybe using 2 or 3 trusted things rather than too many. What are you thinking about that? You think that that's a good idea, bad idea? Is that something you're doing yourself with maybe not just financial apps, but other apps as well? A lot of people are trying to get off their phones at least once a week, which I don't get off my phone. Like I'll watch fun YouTube videos, or I'll watch different things, or I'll read my Kindle app that's on my tablet or something. But I don't get completely off of my technology, but I do try to on Saturdays, Friday nights, Saturdays, and possibly mostly Sundays, just not look at the news. I don't want to look at the news. I don't look at emails. I really don't even have my phone turned on most of the time. I have it on just a bit, just in case. I have family down the street, and I just want to make sure they can reach us. But other than that, I don't keep it on. So it's been nice. So what I put in the bottom waterline was the Stay and Play in 03 Silky Nude by Essence. This is a nice pencil. Put that there. All right. And then what I'm going to use today, actually, I'll start with this first, is I got the Morphe new highlighter in Sudden Heat. I'm going to put this on below. Would be good. Sorry, I'm trying to decide on which brush to use. I'm going to use the BK Beauty 109 brush. It's kind of a small angled brush. And I'm going to put this on under the powder products and see how this does. I've been enjoying doing, oh, this is really much more pigmented than I thought. So glad I didn't directly go on my face with it. But I've been doing this a lot, mainly because I don't like that really obvious, oh, this is the bronzer. What am I talking about? Okay, that's fine. Either way, I put it on this way anyhow, so it doesn't matter. I thought I had well, that will be another time, the highlighter. I guess I decided to cut it back, so I didn't have that on hand. But this is a really good bronzer if you haven't used the Morphe stick bronzer. And this one I could have just gone on, but it's okay. We'll make it work. I'm looking at my face going, there's no sparkle in it. How can this be a highlighter? Well, it's not, Lisa. It's your bronzer that you forgot you took out for it. So cream bronzer underneath. So this looks nice. Brought some life back in my face. Again, this was in Spark Sudden Heat. Good bronzer out there. This is still a good brush to have. And then I'm going to do eyes first. So I decided to take out this Milani palette, all-inclusive eye, cheek, and face palette. I don't know if there's a shade on here, but I know there's no mirror, so I can open it up. So that's what it looks like. And I just have, as you can see, I haven't used it that much. So I'm deciding whether or not I want to keep it. And so I'm going to use there's eyeshadows down the middle here, then there's bronzer and a blush, then there's kind of a sparkly brush and a blush and a highlighter. So I think I'm going to use the shadows first and see how those come out, and then we'll move on to other things. What do I want to choose? I'm going to use the BK Beauty 201 brush. And let's move on to our last topic then, and we'll be good. Okay, last topic is the $1,000 stress spending gap. So this is measured by basically the retail therapy out there. So 2026 trends are showing that instead of a structured budget, people are doing this financial gymnastics that we talked about last week and moving money around constantly to justify impulse buying. Now, I would say that the financial gymnastics that we talked about last week could be a good thing because it's a strategy, right? Oh, this is the wrong brush. But I'm going to start with this pinky shade in the crease, then go to this on the edge and that in the middle. So what I think is happening though is we are getting that, oh, that's not that much. We hear, oh, it's $10. That's not that much. It's $15. It's not that much. And another thing that's causing this problem, which I would say the shiny object is, it's not that much, is what people keep saying. Oh, that's not that bad. That's not that much. What is causing some of this is that buy now, pay later that we talked about last week that I'm not a fan of. But what people don't realize is that these little purchases really add up. And I had to do some math for myself because I am a makeup person. I like a lot of makeup. I like to try new things. I hear about new formulas. I'm like, ooh, what does that be? I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to always find the new and better. I'm just kind of curious what people are doing. I've realized though that I think because I'm still kind of new in my beauty journey, that I'm probably going to end up slowing down. I have slowed down a little bit this year. I'm purchasing just because I look at my drawers and I go, I have plenty of stuff like this palette that I haven't used in forever. And maybe I want to take it out and use it. And especially Milani's getting a lot of play right now because they've got some new products coming out. I just thought it'd be an interesting thing to use. Since this, I believe, is pretty old product that they have out. And I really don't hear anything about their eyeshadows or anything like that. So now I'm going to go in with this one. But when I was looking at my own spending, I'm just going to do the inner part of my eye. Just kind of fluff that out. That looks nice. I was calculating out just what I spent this weekend. And it's just appalling to me how these little purchases, I think, oh, it's $10, it's $15, it's $20, it's no big deal, really add up. And I'm in the finance business. This should not be shocking me, but it does because we kind of talk ourselves into that's not that bad. We're always, and I'm a pretty positive outlook person. So I'm going to go in with this Thrive eyeliner in Naily, I think it's called. Nice eye pencil here. And that mindset of it's only XYZ amount can really get you. Sales can get you. Oh, it's on sale. Oh, they're throwing in this product I've been wanting to try. So let's buy $75 worth of stuff to get that one product that would have cost you $35, right? That kind of stuff. And I'm going to do actually I should use another brush to do that. I'll use this BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N23 brush, and I'm going to smudge that out, and then I use this on my bottom as my liner as well. But so I would say the game you should play with yourself is anytime you're telling yourself it's only, back away. Back away for 24 to 30 to, I would say even 48 hours. If you're still thinking about that product, then go ahead and purchase it. But if you've forgotten all about it, it's not worth having. It's just not. It's not worth the money. And all that $10, $15 issue is going to help you get to your financial freedom journey a lot better. So, and there's some interesting things that I found out, like there were some different resources, like a blog about using installment loans for everyday necessities, which I don't like that. But normalizing aspect of taking on debt with those buy now, pay later programs, but also the normalizing of, it's just this much, it's just that much. It's like thinking about how much do we really need out there. So that is always an interesting topic. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. Okay, so we're going to finish up with some powder and some blush and that kind of stuff, and then we're going to get going. So this is the Tarte face tape. And, I didn't take the sticker off, so that's fine. That's it. I got this in a package. Oh, that's my 30 minutes, and I'm not done yet, so stop. Okay. So we'll finish up, though, I promise. So I got this in one of those subscription boxes, and I haven't hardly used it, and I don't know if I like it or not. So we'll see if I end up keeping it or not. But that looks okay. All right, so that is going to go there. Oh, and I don't think I told you, this is light medium sand is the shade, if you're close to my skin range. Then we'll go in with some blush. I believe this is pretty pigmented, so I'm going to go in with maybe an e.l.f. putty blush. It's got these little fibers on it, so hopefully it won't pause it too much. Ooh, this really kicks up a lot. So when I see that, I always put a little bit on my wrist or something to get some of it off, so that I hate having too much blush on that I have to take the foundation and deal with all that. That drives me crazy. So I'd rather take a little off and build it up than the other way. Actually, this is a really nice blush brush, just because I can get it right, because it's very dense here. And then you've got the fiber, so I can really hit the area I want, and I don't get it too far down my face. So that's nice. And I'm going to take a little bit of this kind of blush topper color, so you can see it, this top one here, and put a little bit on top. And bronze it up. I don't think I'll need a highlighter because that blush topper kind of did it. So put a little bronzer on. Oh, I still have to do mascara, so I'll do that very quickly. So that has been my topics for this week. Hopefully these were helpful to you. I'm going to just go quickly in with the Lash Extensionist mascara. This is a really good one. It's funny, I might as well just talk about the makeup because I'm done with the financial topics. I run through those so fast, and then I have all this time left over. But you're probably here to talk about the makeup, so you're probably okay with that. But I find a lot of these mascaras that are out there that get all the hype, I don't understand. This one I do understand. This one I feel like is a really good, I need to curl my lashes. I did end up ordering one of those heated lash curlers, so you'll probably see me use that next week because it's on its way. It was only $10 after I told you not to do that, right? But doesn't mean, it's funny when we talk about budgeting, I can do this part because this is easy for me to talk about. When we talk about budgeting, a lot of times people focus on what you can't have. And instead of focusing on what you can't have, focus on the feeling you're going to have when you are at financial freedom. And, my husband and I aren't at financial freedom either, but we're closer than we've ever been, obviously. And I can really see it. And so, when I purchase too much, or when I say it's only this or it's only that or whatever, it really kind of gets to me. I get really mad at myself because it's taking me away from my goals. And, maybe a lot of advisors wouldn't tell you the truth that they have these struggles just like you do, but we do. We have these same exact struggles. So I was seeing Nikki LaRose saying that you need to curl it right before you put the mascara on, which I had not done that. So let's see if that works for me. But anyhow, we all go through our journeys with money. And I think it is only human to have setbacks or to have times that you're like, I could have done more. But I think the biggest problem that we're having, and that maybe you can learn from this discussion I'm having with you just about my stuff, is that you have to be conscientious. You can't do anything about your budgeting issue, about your savings issue, about whatever issue you're having, if you're not being conscious. And that kind of goes back to the financial digital declutter that people are doing, is that they are wanting to be more present, wanting to be more aware, and you can't be aware and present with 10 different apps that you don't use, that are telling you, maybe totally conflicting information that doesn't help you in the long run. So I have one lash area that drives me crazy. Does anybody else have that just will not do what I'm telling it to do? And then I just give up and it does whatever it wants. So anyhow, all right. So we're going to move on to lips very quickly. I do have a hack for you. Okay, so these matte lipsticks. Now this is a really nice one. This is from MAC. This is Teddy 2.0. I think these are called the matte, hazy matte lipsticks, which are nice. But they're the new trend. I like the way they look. However, they don't feel comfortable on my lips. And I don't have super dry lips. I would say probably pretty normal dry lips, they're not cracked or anything. I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil Extreme in, what color is this? Lively Peony. That's the color of it. First, but I don't like the way these matte lipsticks, any of them, feel on my lips. They just drive me crazy. And it doesn't seem to bother anybody else. Even some of the beauty people that say that they have really dry lips, they say, oh, this is a great lipstick. And it's this hazy matte one from MAC, which I like, but it doesn't feel good after a while. So here's my hack. I'm going to take this Jubel Naturals Treatment Lip Mask. Now, this one is matte. This also has a tiny bit of I wouldn't say tiny bit. This is vanilla cherry, but it's matte. So many of these are glossy. Obviously, you don't want a glossy one with a matte lipstick. That takes away the whole thing. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, put the mask on my lips. And then put the lipstick on top. And my lips feel so much better. And I really like the lipstick then. And it's not drying on my lips. I have that moisture in between. But the key is, because I'd been trying to do that with other ones like the Laneige ones and all that, and they don't work because, well, they work, but they're glossy. So then you take my lipstick that's, supposed to be matte, and then I'm making it glossy, and it didn't make any sense. So now put that on. Lovely, right? And it looks matte still. So just as if anybody else has been having that problem, that has been my problem. I did have a spray. Where did I put that? Oh, well. I did. I swear I got a spray out. I use the Hard Candy Glow Unlock spray. Swear I put one out, but apparently I did not. Yeah, I don't know where it is. So, tester. All right. Makeup look done. I think it looks nice. I don't know if I'm going to keep that palette or not. You let me know. Oh, and just FYI, I don't have comments turned on because of, the nature of my business. It doesn't work for that, but you can always, there is information to contact me if you just have a comment or want to make a suggestion on a topic or something. So please do that. But until next time, for episode number 5, closing up, we discussed digital minimalism. We discussed the $1,000 stress gap and your spending and saying it's just X amount. When you say that, put yourself on pause, right? Do something different. And then we started with the value investing trend and how to handle that. Hopefully all of those were good. You enjoyed some of the makeup that we went through, and have a wonderful day. Till next time, stay safe out there, be strong, be kind to one another. Have a great week, and we will see you on episode number 6 of Your Bucket List Accelerator. Bye-bye now.